What's happening? It's Bozyk. I'm here at the corner of 11th and Northrop in the Pearl, downtown Portland. This spot right here, this hallowed ground upon which I stand, will be the epicenter of the Northwest whiskey scene, Whiskey Fest Northwest. And I'm going to introduce you to some of the distillers that are going to be responsible for some of the fine beverages that we will be tasting on May 11th, so stay tuned. What is it about the whiskey scene that makes Portland so ready for a Whiskey Fest Northwest? Why do you think this is the right year to be doing this?
Well, I mean, Portland, I think in the last, decade or so, and certainly in the last 3 years, has just gotten on the map on a national scale as being a mixology community with a specific influence on whiskey. Most of the mixology accounts in downtown Portland, and specifically, have just been really getting back into classic cocktails, pre-prohibition style cocktails, and it's just caught on, especially with the younger crowd. I think it's been a rejuvenation amongst young drinkers to get into higher end cocktails, but with a classic feel, and Portland's just kind of captured that.
And what about Whiskey Fest Northwest is going to surprise most people, do you think?
I think that the lineup of products that we're going to have coming to the show, we've got a lot of different great products, some new innovation that we haven't had in years past, like Jacob's Ghost, for instance. But more than anything, we'll have a strong showing of different brands that come from all over the world.
Yeah. All right. So talk to me about the innovation of Jacob's Ghost here.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a brand new product from Jim Beam. I think partly, this is a good note to Portland. White dogs, white whiskeys have just all of a sudden become a new trend, something that bartenders, mixologists are wanting to play with. A few years ago, most of your major distilleries would never release their white dog because it's kind of like your local pizzeria telling you, what they put in their marinara sauce, which is, they won't let you see the raw ingredients. But micro distilleries started releasing white dogs, and I think that's kind of translated into a larger scale now. The bigger distilleries like Jim Beam want to get involved. They have a great product, but this one is a white whiskey, so it is aged for 12 months. And it's a little bit more unique and different than the white dogs. A lot of white dogs tend to be 100% corn, which are great, and the flavor profile on those are awesome. Every time you visit a distillery and you smell that mash, that's what it reminds me of.
Right.
And it can make some fine cocktails, but it's a very unique, distinct kind of, I don't want to say overpowering, but it kind of limits what you can do in terms of the whole breadth of cocktail making. And I think the idea behind this was to get cocktail making in this product into all white spirit categories, so for vodka, gin, rum, tequila, unaged, as well as just be a whiskey that you can drink like you drink bourbon. So it has the same mash bill as the Jim Beam white label, so it's made up of corn, barley, and rye, and then, like I said, aged for 12 months, just kind of soften the edges, because when it comes straight off the still, it's got a little heat to it, so that 12 months in the barrel gives it just a slight
and the great thing
kind of hard
about
to tell.
the Jacob's Ghost is really, it's such a new product that there's so many different avenues that this can be approached with. Like Greg had mentioned, all the white spirits, the vodkas and the rums and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see and how we were really excited to bring this to Northwest Whiskey Fest, just because we wanted to see what everybody could do with the product.
Right.
It really is brand new. It just released here not even a month ago. So. Yeah, so it's exciting.
So what about the makers that we have in front of us here? Who's going to talk about this?
I will.
Please.
Fire away.
It's a great product. As everyone knows, makers always prided themselves on taste. And it's not doing time. So once they feel that this product was ready, which is 6 to 7 years, they pull it out of its barrel. It's actually Maker's Mark that they pull out of the barrel, and then what they do is they take white oak staves and they attach those inside the barrel itself, and then put the product back in there for another 6 to 8 months, just depending on when they feel it's ready.
Right.
And then this is what you get. It's just a great blend. Bill Samuels Jr. was not very excited about actually messing with this profile, as you can imagine. They haven't done anything new in 50 years. And why reinvent the wheel? Well, it was well worth the task, and now it's become one of the more pronounced bourbons out there. So.
Yeah. So, in the opinion of both of you, is there a sophistication in a whiskey drinker that's going to keep this whiskey fest from just turning into just a rowdy rager?
Yeah, I mean, we've got big plans. We've already kind of talked about next year. So
Yeah.
that's how excited we are about this. In trying to get some of the big boys like the Rob Samuels, maybe even Bill Samuels Jr. or Fred No out here. So I mean, that to me would just kind of tip off the whole thing. I mean, that's bringing one of those guys in town. That's the Godfather right
So,
there.
are either or both of you going to be down at Whiskey Fest Northwest talking to whiskey drinkers? Excellent.
count on it.
All right.
About
Keep an eye out for them. It's May 11th. You can find out more at 105.9thebrew.com. We'll see these guys there.